This series is gonna get a lot of hate, not just this video. This is gonna be a new series. Lies the left told me. Here we go. So my friend Sophia, who is a trans woman, wrote this article entitled, "There is no trans murder epidemic, but someone is using trans deaths for political gain in America."
You can't talk about trans murder rates without discussing what's probably the biggest date in the trans community's calendar, and that of course is Trans Day of Remembrance. For those of you who haven't heard of it, Trans Day of Remembrance was set up to remember the lives of all the trans people who have been murdered over any given year. Now, the assumption is that everyone who's being remembered on that day died due to transphobia, and it's from this that activists will argue there is an epidemic of transphobic related murders affecting the community.
For the past handful of years, organizations like GLAAD and the Human Rights Campaign have been keeping a tally of any and all transgender people killed on a yearly basis. You know, I looked at this list, Sophia looked at this list, a bunch of other trans friends of mine, Ashley, Rose of Dawn, looked at this list, did a little bit of research, and we can see that something just isn't right. Something is a little off. Sophia said, "Researching the trans death statistic," I don't mean to laugh, I can't read today, "has made it abundantly clear that social manipulation is in play. What else can explain why major advocacy groups are lying? Who has the most to benefit from convincing marginalized people that they're going to die?"
If you have a look at the Trans Day of Remembrance's own website and see the list of names, you may notice a couple of patterns emerging, and one of these, and probably the most significant one, is where these murders actually took place. In particular, this would be Brazil, a country which is known for having quite a high homicide rate, but you will also see Mexico alongside the South American countries. Again, another country that is considered quite dangerous.
Often overlooked and not discussed is that many murders take place where inner city crime and gang wars are common. Going through the various years where data is available, one thing stands clear. Sex work is common among most of those who are killed. Very few murders are considered bona fide hate crimes.
But the narrative rarely seems to acknowledge that maybe the fact that they are sex workers, which is already a dangerous profession regardless of where you are in the world, might have been a factor that is just as big, if not more, than being trans themselves. But let's assume for a second that every single person on the list died due to transphobia. We're looking at such a small fraction of an already small community that to push this as an epidemic seems very disingenuous.
In fact, the past year, there were actually even less trans-related murders than the year before. This study says in the past 12 months, 331 trans and gender-diverse people reported killed globally. Of the reported killings worldwide, sex workers make up the majority of victims. In 2018, though, there were actually 369 reported murders of trans and gender diverse people. Obviously, nobody is saying that any of these deaths are justified in any way. My question is, what is the far left or what is the progressive woke movement gaining from stretching the truth here?
I'm not suggesting at any point that any of the people who are remembered don't deserve to. Of course, they should be honoured. But the reason why I have a huge problem with Trans Day of Remembrance is that a motive is put on the deaths which might not exist, and their deaths are then used to play political point scoring in the West.
As I mentioned in previous videos, for the first time in 10 years, the rate of LGBT acceptance is down. And I'm not surprised that the White House is being blamed for the rise in LGBT hate groups. But is that even true? Let's check the facts. President Trump openly supported LGBT equality before any of Stonewall's endorsees did. In 1999, while Democrats defended Don't Ask, Don't Tell, Trump opted that gays and lesbians serving openly was not something that would disturb him. In the year 2000, Trump proposed an amendment of civil rights law to ban discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. In 2015, though Trump needed religious conservative votes to win the Republican primary, he nevertheless stated publicly that religious freedom and LGBT rights are not mutually exclusive. I also said this in a past video. Trump was also the first president to enter the office as pro-LGBT. He's the first ever Republican to be pro-gay.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
He has also launched a global campaign to decriminalize homosexuality around the world. I'm just saying, if you're gonna hate him for reasons that are true, not lies. I found this video by a user named Styx. He makes a lot of great points in this video where he talks about why he thinks the rate of LGBT acceptance is down.
The opportunists, gay rights a la the millennial generation was like, hey, gay people are the same as you, treat people with respect. Live and let live, leave people alone. Now gay pride has stepped in, and it's, you know, people with glitter and a dildo stuck to their forehead. That's the way it's organized. That's the way it's portrayed.
Glitter is okay, not dildos. Like, I really just personally don't want to see dildos in my pride parade.
Stop hitting us. Stop throwing us in jail. Let us live our lives, be normal just like you. Let me get married, let me do this. You have people dressed in bondage gear, pretending to be animals, and you have, you know, drag queen story hour.
As a lesbian personally, I'm also not a fan of seeing like super hairy gay men with like their butt cracks hanging out. Maybe that's just me. Nor do I personally get why bondage and like puppy play is included in Pride Parade. That really has nothing to do with being LGBT, because straight people can experience that kink as well. Drag queen story hour in itself is fine, but other things drag queens have been doing are obviously not. And if you want me to do a video on that, I have 2 drag queens that have a lot to say about this topic, so let me know in the comments if you want to see that video.
Yes, acceptance of that is going to go down. Of course it's going to go down. Yes, acceptance of grown men walking around on all fours barking at small children, or of people, you know, sexualizing children, or things of that. Yes, acceptance of that, I would hope, is going to be lower. A political component has hijacked the initial gay rights movement and tacked on a bunch of other social issues that have nothing to do with it. There's no similarity between, well, I should have the right to have my 10-year-old kid go into a bar and strip, basically. That has nothing to do with 2 gay consenting adults getting married. It has nothing to do with that situation.
Oh my god, okay, yes, this, okay. The LGBT community has become super political. If you disagree with that in any way, think about this. Have you ever seen an LGBT person that supports President Trump praised? No, they're always criticized. What about a non-binary Republican, queer conservative?
And so if you're looking at the whole picture, and you're looking at the portrayal of LGBTQ as including those other things, yeah, acceptance of it's not going to be the same 70-75% it was several years ago.
I saw this tweet the other day that suggested that we dropped the T, and I honestly don't really think that is the issue, because there are obviously plenty of rational, sane, amazing, binary, and sometimes even people that say that they are non-binary, whatever that means, I'm not sure yet, awesome trans people. I do think that we need to drop the crazies and the irrational, super crazy, progressive, left, woke, whatever you want to call them, in every letter of the LGBT. The problem isn't with lesbians, bisexuals, and gay men. And it's not with rational trans people such as Buck Angel, Blair White, Rose of Dawn. I think most of you guys already know what the problem is, because a lot of you have found me from a video that I made that went viral highlighting exactly those issues.
A person who is a homosexual, if they're mistreated by some random homophobe, the homophobe's breaking the law. They're protected under the law the same as anyone else. There's no more fight to have. And so what's happened is that the gay pride element devolved from people saying, look, I'm just like you, I want to be able to live my life, to crazy shit. Crazy shit that has nothing to do with equal rights. It has nothing to do with any civic struggle, because there's no more struggle to have.
I hate that all of that is true, but here we are. That is all for this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to make this into a series, Lies the Left Told Me. My mind is being blown in so many ways when I started to step away from the hive mind and group mentality. Please let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like me to cover for Lies the Left Told Me, because I would love to continue this series and collab with other center or libertarian or even conservative LGBT people. Go and check out Ashley Rose of Dawn's channel. I'll have it linked in the description below. And I know because you guys are super excited about this being a series, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Also, go and follow me on Instagram, because I've been posting a ton of content on there that I have never posted to YouTube, and a lot of you are missing it because you're not following me there. I'll have that link in the description below. And other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Bye.